Welcome to the second annual jaBROni Awards. It's happening. It's happening. It is happening. Did you think COVID was going to cancel the awards?
No.
It didn't. It tried to.
It tried to.
No. You just pushed it back a few days. You're not going to ruin a tradition unlike any other. 10 awards. And, the categories are sexy. The people giving out the awards are sexy. The people receiving the awards are even more sexy. First off, we did have a whole song and dance prepared, an opening, like a Billy Crystal, maybe. I don't know if people might not get that reference of Billy Crystal even. But some singing opening. But maybe we'll save that for next year. The big musical opener. But it is the second annual jaBROni Awards. Last year, what I can remember, I remember Drew McIntyre brought home some.
I actually have last year's tally, if you bear with me. Yeah, on my side, Drew won Babyface, MJF won heel, Edge and Orton were feud, Street Profits were tag team. Lots of good stuff. Female, Britt Baker. Male, John Moxley. So, crazy.
And what about who got jaBROni of the year last year?
A little clan we like to call the Mysterios.
Yes.
Thankfully, I think we can both agree that the Mysterios are nowhere near our lists this year.
No, they're safe. They're not getting any of the good ones though.
They're not getting good ones, but I'd rather be on that list than like the jaBROni of the year.
Yeah, you don't. Okay? You don't want to go on that list.
No one wants that list.
Should we get right into it?
We can there's been a lot of special moments in the year of wrestling. I found it very hard or harder this year to keep track with AEW and WWE, whereas last year I felt like it was pretty straightforward. I knew who I was going with, but you think of this and then you think of the other company. It's like, but they did this, and that's like with all categories. So I try, me personally, when I decide these, I try to divvy it up as much as possible, both companies had their highs and both companies had their lows. So I'm excited. I'm ready to get into it.
And you kind of reminded me just saying, because last year, everything was done in front of no audience, no crowd. And I don't know if it just brings it kind of brought your attention more to see who is the real heel without hearing a crowd behind it? Who's the real face without artificial Thunderdome noise? So it was interesting this year finally, because this was not even we didn't really get Rumble was it the first live show, or did they do that in the Thunderdome still?
No, they did the Rumble in the Thunderdome. The first live show was at WrestleMania. Yeah, it was Mania.
With the rain and all that, which just seems like, almost it is forever ago since we're in now. Rumble
we're almost a year over from that Mania. Crazy.
But let's get into this. The first category of the night we will be doing Breakout Star of the Year.
This was hard. This was hard for me. Last year, it was slam dunk. It was Pat McAfee. We both went Pat McAfee. I'll never forget that moment because we don't know who we're picking ahead of time. I don't know yours. You don't know mine. So seeing Pat McAfee both on our list, it just goes to show how great he was last year. This year, there were still a lot of good stars that broke out, I guess you could say. What I look for is somebody who maybe I know has been good, but maybe necessarily wasn't getting that push, and then they finally are getting that push. So that's kind of
what I did.
That's kind of what I'm looking at. I don't think we have the same one, but I'm gonna start it off, and this man is taking the reins from Pat McAfee. So Pat McAfee's passing the torch, and he's giving it to current United States champion Damian Priest. Thought he had a real great year with the whole Bad Bunny situation. He lit it up at WrestleMania. He even, despite he was the one in the zombie lumberjack match at Backlash. Despite that hiccup, he had an excellent year. Now he's had this little gimmick change where he's like a little crazy, but also still badass. It was honestly down to him or Baron Corbin for me. Happy Corbin, only for the sole fact that Corbin nobody's yet to kick out of End of Days, and I think that's awesome. Since he started with WWE, no one's been able to kick out of that. But I gave it to the man with the gold. I gave it to Damian Priest. So congratulations, Damian, wherever you are. I don't know if you're here, wherever you are. Congratulations to you, sir.
I like it. And then you're also kind of my head, because when I was thinking, sometimes when you think breakout star, you think of like somebody newer on the roster, like your Austin Theory, or you know, something along those lines.
He's an early 2022 breakout star of the year favorite in my Austin Theory.
The odds are already out there. But you said it already. My breakout star of the year is sad/happy Corbin. It was a good year.
This was his most, I think, productive year since the Constable gimmick.
And along the lines of you just saying about the End of Days things, because he was currently on Satin's Out of Character talking about that. And it was almost like you got to ask the question, like, would you rather win like a WWE title ever, or knowing that you just go through your whole career that no one is kicked out at End of Days? And he was almost kind of leaning towards that, which is like rare. It's just rare to hear of. It's a lot of moves aren't that crazy protected with the way wrestling is today, with
none.
A million false finishes.
Right.
But Corbin just going from the sad Corbin, where almost it was just great. It just took on a life of its own, where he started doing these TikTok and these stories. And I don't know, I wanted that to last a little bit longer. I thought they kind of did the shift to happy too quickly. And then he was telling stories on that Satin thing too, about him like trying to get his kid into a private school, and Vince is hitting him up saying, do not shave at all. And he's just going into these like private schools that cost a lot of money, and he just looks like a straight bum. And I don't know, just all the way around, just to the Madcap Moss. And and maybe a little biased because I've been a Corbin fan for a very long time. I think he's got a great move set. I think he's awesome. I think he's a heel. Like, people actually don't like him because he's so good at being a heel. I could go on, honestly, for about 15 more minutes about how much Corbin rocks, but hands down, breakout star of the year, I am giving it to Corbin. And you know what? Give a little bit to Madcap Moss, too.
A little bit. Hey, I know this is the jaBROni Awards. We haven't really talked about day one. We haven't talked about anything really, but hey, Madcap Moss versus Drew McIntyre on day one. I thought it was good. For something that had very low expectations. I enjoyed it. Everyone
thought it was gonna be real quick. It's like they could have did the whole like bounce off the rope.
Right, that's the thing. Like everyone's like begging, like, "Oh, we need more stars and stuff." But then they're like, "Hey, man, why is Madcap Moss lasting this long with Drew McIntyre?" Hey, Madcap Moss is a stallion, all right.
He is.
He was on that Raw Underground, man. And so, they're trying to create a star, and he had a good showing. So, stop complaining. You know.
Love to see more. Love to see more.
Absolutely.
All right. So Damian Priest, Baron Corbin get breakout star of the year. We move on now to tag team of the year.
Another tough one. Would you like to kick off this one since I kind of stole it? Breakout star of the year. So
this one, I let brew. I let it brew for a while, but after looking at the year in a whole, and with the storyline and everything, I am giving my tag team of the year to the ones, the Usos. I think just from carrying over to main event, Jimmy Uso, and then carrying all over to this, well, not this year because now we're doing this in 2022, but in 2021 with the bloodline and just the pure domination. And I don't know. Every time I watch the Usos, it's just like never a bad match. Ever. Just to almost go back to what we just, again, on day one, just another, they wrestle the New Day all the time. And it somehow still is just like, nope, if they announce it like for Rumble again, I'd be like, all right, yep, let's go. It's like one of those feuds I like don't get tired of, even though I see people get tired of it a lot. I just think overall, just the bloodline in general, just carried a lot of. I mean, it carried SmackDown, and there was club. I mean, I was a huge fan of RK Bro, a huge fan of FTR, the Lucha Brothers, the Young Bucks. They were, I believe they won it last year for me, but I had to switch it up this year. The ones, bloodline, baby. Day one ish. Day one is H.
Day one is H indeed. No argument. You're not gonna find an argument from me. The one thing that you did say that kind of made me do a quick switch here is you mentioned Jay's singles run and his rivalry with Roman Reigns, and you kind of tied that in. Now, my original pick, I ended up not picking them because they both had certain single storylines that I thought were great. But then since you did it, I'm going to change it back to them because I didn't know those were the rules. So I'm going to keep this team, and the Street Profits now are passing it not only to a different team, but to a different company. That's right. I'm not that much of an AEW hater. I'm giving it to the Lucha Bros. First you had Rey Fenix. Kenny Omega match was awesome for the world title. You had Penta's feud with Cody Rhodes. That was really good. And then, not to mention, obviously the and I hate giving credit to this team also, but like the Lucha Bros, Young Bucks tag match, steel cage. I think that was at All Out.
Yep.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. So just for those, they've been a great tag team. They're still tag team champs, I believe, right? Or no? Pretty sure they are carrying into 2022. So kudos to these guys. I enjoyed everything that they did. And there you go. Tag team of the year, Lucha Brothers.
I cannot disagree with that whatsoever. All right, so we got Lucha Brothers and the Usos, tag team of the year, and we move on now to Babyface of the year. Mr. Butler, take it away.
Look, to me, this wasn't really a fight. You know, I mean, it's Big E. I think it's Big E. Had a lot of support throughout the year, culminating in him winning the WWE Championship. It's funny because it's cash in. Everyone knew it was coming. He announced it, all that good stuff, and he did it. It was good. It was great. This isn't like a sympathy pick because he just lost to Lesnar. I had in fact enjoyed that, but just the run he had, and the fans love him. The fans love him. Whether he's part of New Day, whether he's on his own, he's proven that he can go by himself and he can hop into that team as well at any time and it not affect him at all. So Big E, Babyface of the year, no doubt.
I am going to stay right there with you. After thinking about it, I was debating Hangman, and I talked to you right before we started, and I was saying like Hangman definitely, could be chosen. I put in the factor that he did. He had a kid and everything, and that was one factor. He was like he left for a little bit. It still almost kind of built up anticipation for, but I don't know if it also got him winning the title. I don't know if Punk coming back around and Daniel Bryan all around when all that was going to happen. I don't know if that clouded maybe my excitement, even though I was still very excited when he won the title. I just go back to actually even not Big E saying when he was cashing in, Big E winning the Money in the Bank. I go back to that, and I just got goosebumps. I go back to that exact moment. It's just like everybody wanted that to happen. And that's a babyface right there. And we talked about right before recording also about, you said, you look at SmackDown, like Roman Reigns beat every single face like 4 times on Smack. Like he ran through everybody. So it's kind of like easy to dismiss SmackDown with baby faces. Besides that, I mean, for the most part, the year was you had a heel champion with Bobby Lashley for that's, and the only options were Hangman and
really, yeah, it was really down to that. And no slight on Hangman or nothing. It's just I think I didn't like. Obviously everyone loves Hangman, but he did have that time off. And you also kind of saw the writing on the wall. Like I think like people knew months in advance that eventually Hangman was gonna get to Omega, win the title and everything. Whereas Big E, you didn't know until he won, like Money in the Bank, that he was gonna be WWE champion. So just that makes it more feel good for me that I didn't know that he was gonna get to where he was.
It was always teased. It was just like, it was teased. Big E's gonna challenge Roman for the title. Like Big E's gonna win the Rumble. He's gonna challenge and you're just like always like, I don't know. It just seems like one of those like you keep hearing about it. Like like now it's actually happening, but like the longest time with Lashley and Lesnar, you're just like, but I don't really think they're ever gonna really do it. Like it just seems like seems like they want it, but it just seems like they don't want to do it. It goes so for the first time tonight, unanimous baby face of the year goes to Big E. Now, I mean, what comes next. We flip it over. It's time for heel of the year. This I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna be a broken record every year with this. I'm choosing who was yours. I believe mine as well, maybe last year.
That's why you take notes, bro. That's why you take notes.
No, I meant to go listen to the whole old.
Last year was before we were on YouTube or whatever.
I meant to listen to it.
Yeah,
but I didn't. So I was just trying to go off of memory. I know Drew was my baby face last year, but I'm almost certain that my heel last year was MJF.
So he's reigning again, huh?
Yeah, I have to break. I mean, Come on. I don't every time I hear that dude's music and he comes out and he gets a microphone, I am I'm there. I mean, just alone, I think that first time him and Punk shot at each other for like 15 minutes and everyone was like complaining about it. That I think that was fantastic. I know people didn't like the WWE references so much, but I was sitting there like this. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I loved it. So I don't think this needs to be explained much. I think it's pretty obvious. MJF was the heel of the year. But I'm interested to see who you have selected after having MJF last year.
Right. And I have no problems with repeat award winners, but I had, and up until maybe like 5 days ago, it was MJF. But I was looking back at my notes, and I'm a fair guy. I look at all things. One man did not win any jaBROnis awards from me last year, so I felt like I needed to. I know, and this guy I've praised. It seems like all year for one reason or another. So I'm gonna have to give it to him. And I had a feeling that MJF was probably going to be one of ours, so I don't feel as bad since you picked him. So with that being,
person from AEW?
Huh?
No. I thought you were going with someone else from AEW. Okay.
No. I'm going to have to give it to our tribal chief, Roman Reigns, as heel of the year.
It's so weird. I don't see him as a heel.
Right. Yeah, I know. Right. And that's something that, like, neither do I, because I like him.
Yeah.
But, he is a heel. He has done heel things between Kevin Owens stuff. You have Finn Balor stuff. You had his own family stuff.
He's a heel. He's
a heel. He's a heel. The Daniel Bryan stuff, and then he's definitely a heel. Banishing Daniel Bryan from SmackDown. Beating John Cena. I have got to give it to him.
Nah, that is fair. Just for a second, I was drawing a blank. I was like, is it Bobby? Is he giving it to Bobby?
No, not Bobby. Not Bobby. So Roman Reigns, on top of the year plus title reign that you are having, congratulations, you heel son of a bitch, and get well soon.
MJF and Roman Reigns, heels of the year. All right. Next up here, we are going to be doing Feud of the year. And you got lined up here.
I think it's me. This was very, very tough. It came down to two, one from each company.
Okay.
Came down to Omega and Hangman for AEW. And it came down to Edge and Rollins. Those are the two feuds that captured me. But again, it goes back to, I like to believe in the kayfabe. I'm like one of those guys that are all about kayfabe. Kayfabe, I don't want to know. I don't want to if it were my choice and it was possible, I would avoid all dirt sheets. But I knew Omega and Hangman was happening, but not just because of dirt sheets, but they tease it on TV all the time before it actually happened. I knew it, and then I knew what to expect from those guys. Edge and Rollins, I knew they were gonna have a great feud, but how great? Then their Hell in a Cell match at Crown Jewel was amazing. And where else they meet? They met at SummerSlam, and that match was good. I think they
And
met
then just that Rollins in his
Then
house was
the
hysterical.
Rollins in the house, and then they had a good match on SmackDown, I believe, too. When
They wrestled like 4 times this year.
Yeah.
Or in 2021 it seemed.
Whereas Omega and Paige wrestled twice.
There was, I guess they were in like mixed tags leading.
Right.
They
So
kind of kept them apart.
they kind of kept them apart, which I'm not knocking either. I'm not knocking, but a feud to me is like, I don't want to say it's like full of rematches, but I mean that's what a feud is, a string of matches that and that are good. So I gave the feud of the year to Reigns, Edge, and Rollins for me.
I cannot disagree at all. And this is another one where you mentioned your other one is my feud of the year, which is Hangman and Omega, mainly because, and this is 2.5 years of storytelling that paid off with the smallest details of things that have happened in being the elite, and just little Easter eggs all over that, leading to things happening on Dynamite, leading to it finally happening. I just thought all the way, just from, I don't know, it was great. I thought his entrance that they did outside in Minneapolis on the street before with the drone and everything, and the cowboy it was that, I don't know, that just, again, goosebumps. It just is wrestling. It's great. It was like the big build up moment, and it was like, here it is. And I just thought, I don't know, it just pops feud of the year. I thought it was the biggest match in wrestling probably this year.
Really?
Just under, I mean, if you're going for AEW, I think it 100% was. Roman Reigns and John Cena was pretty big for that. I mean, that was the rumored match forever, leading to where they finally did it at SummerSlam. But yeah, I just think everything about Omega and Hangman, and even just the way they did, like, they used the Dark Order and build up like feuds with like people wrestling people in Dark Order, like, I don't know. I just really like the whole like lead into it, and I thought that it was a good payoff. So yes, feud of the year, Omega, Hangman. You got.
See, I don't feel as bad.
See, we're showing love to everybody.
Getting love to everybody, spreading them out.
All right, we've gone through half of them.
Yeah.
Next up now, this is another big one. This is moment
of the year. Boy, were there a lot.
Yes. I'm starting.
Yeah, this is you. I'm very intrigued.
All right. I mean, there was 2 things that happened this year that both I knew were going to happen. And both, when they happened, I was like, oh, one of these moments, you and me were watching this go down in the back of a car. We were at an ROH show.
Yes.
One, obviously, we were just talking about that, is CM Punk. The other one, randomly, was when Cena came out at the end of Money in the Bank against Reigns after he said, "Acknowledge me." I just thought that pop was insane. And it was just, I don't know if it's just me back to like when John Cena comes back again. I was just like, oh, when he comes out and he's like waving his finger at Roman and stuff. I'm like, oh, and then he just came in like such a badass, bouncing off the ropes, and he just gets up and Roman does the classics. It was great. But That's an honorable mention. CM Punk came back this year. We heard that, and I saw a building explode, and I heard, and you could hear it watching, even just watching it on like a tablet or something. It didn't matter how small the speakers were. It just was always like, holy shit. CM Punk's back in wrestling, and I cannot not give it to CM Punk returning on Rampage. It was something that many people have waited for a long time, and I thought that it was perfect. CM Punk.
That was good. That was good. So this came down to 3 moments for me. 3 moments in particular caught me. The CM Punk one rounded out at number 3.
Ooh.
John Cena rounded out at number 2.
Wow, so you had the two. Hey.
Yes. And number 1, and this may be the sentimental favorite, and I'm not big on sentimental favorites, but I'm giving it to the sentimental favorite. We had a whole year, basically, of being kept in this dome, in this little computerized arena, and it was awful. And it was even worse when you were part of that dome, being told what to do and who to cheer for. Nothing,
The worst.
nothing can tell me who to cheer for. Not no little computer screen or nothing. So it is with great pleasure that I give the moment of the year to WrestleMania with fans returning. An amazing moment, an amazing atmosphere. I only wish that it was A, full capacity, and B, that I was there to feel it, because they were electric on both nights, and the main events were amazing. And I think it's a big credit goes to the fans that were there. So my moment of the year, I think it's WrestleMania 37. It was
Night 1.
WrestleMania 37, fans returning for the first time in God knows how long. So there you go.
No, that is fantastic. That's a great pick. I remember everyone like watching, just like everyone's out on the stage right before the show was starting. It was just like, well, and then it started raining, and we're just all just like, yo, like, come on, like, let's get this show started. And
like, of course, like, you've waited months and months and months for fans to be back, and you have to wait like a couple more months because of a rain delay.
No, but that is great. I love that. That is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
John Cena and CM Punk were great too. I mean, John Cena and CM Punk were both great.
I love that they were. I just kind of like.
I mean, yeah, you can't argue. I mean, what other moments were there? If you think about it, you know, Lesnar returns at SummerSlam. All right, that's pretty big. I could give that 4. I'll give you 4.
Brock returned with the hair and flannel.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was pretty badass.
I don't give it, like, I would give Adam Cole debuting in AEW to 5, and then probably Bryan Danielson to 6.
But yours, again, is a culmination of all of 2020. No crowd, Thunderdome, like you said. And just, it's a moment where it's just like, yes, there's fans who love wrestling who are together, which, I mean, kind of thought maybe it would never happen again. Like, I thought at a certain point movie theaters just wouldn't exist anymore because just the way things were a year ago.
Nothing Spider-Man can't fix.
Love it. All right. Next up, we are going to be doing Match of the Year. Now there was Feud.
Really, match of the year. This doesn't headline.
No, jaBROni of the year
Oh,
headline.
of course. I thought this headlined. Okay. No, all right. Match of the year. Well, I mentioned him not too long ago. I think people are going to be pretty impressed with me that I picked an AEW.
You picked mine.
I picked an AEW match. Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks.
Yeah.
Match of the year. Like I said when I was picking them as tag team of the year, I don't think there was one AEW match where I was on or off my ass or on my feet, however you like it, just going nuts for it. It was really, really good. And as overrated as I think that the Young Bucks are, I have to give them their due for this. I thought it was excellent work by both parties. So match of the year goes to Lucha Bros and Young Bucks for sure.
I agree 100%. Like, that match was so much fun all the way through to all the spots. And and again, like I think most people have this as their match of the year. And I think when you watch that match, I think as soon as it was done, I was like, that's the match of the year. I was like, nothing's going to touch this.
Right. I mean, like Reigns, Cena, that wasn't that great. I wasn't impressed with Omega and Hangman. I was more impressed with Hangman and Danielson, to be honest. So just those are other possible candidates. And then the triple threat at WrestleMania 37 Night 2, Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan, I thought it was maybe like a dark horse, but I mean, they're all dark horses compared to Lucha Bros and Young Bucks.
I saw a lot of people had Walter and what's his name, Dragunov from the NXT UK. Look, their second match they had mostly as, but then it's like I guess it's just bias. It's like I don't watch NXT UK.
Right, we don't watch that, and if I had the time to, maybe I could watch it back, and maybe I'll watch it back. Maybe I'll watch it back, and maybe the next time we go live, I'll be like, hey, I was wrong. But I highly doubt anything will beat Young Bucks, Lucha Bros.
It's too much fun. We're in unison here. Lucha Brothers, Young Bucks, match of the year. All right. 3 left.
3 left. What else do we got? Oh, I think I know what we got.
Right. Next up.
Yeah, I'm good.
Female Wrestler of the Year. Is this me?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
All right.
Yes, it is.
So I thought this was kind of actually pretty easy. All right. I'll start off by I feel like there's probably only, and again, this is just an opinion. I feel like each company has one. And one company, I'm not the biggest fan. She's super over and everything, and everyone loves her. She dates a really cute wrestler in the same company with her. Actually, both of the people I'm choosing actually date a cute wrestler that works with them. But I thought this was pretty easy. Bianca Belair was my female wrestler of the year. When I was talking about that, I'm not the biggest fan of Britt Baker, DMD.
She was mine last year. She was mine last year.
I don't know. I think it's just I'm not really into AEW's women's division that much, honestly. I don't really like a lot of the wrestlers, except like I think Jade Cargill. I like Jade. I think she's a freaking I don't even know how she looks the way she does. Like, she looks like she would snap me in half. Like, I think she's getting ready to have a really big year in 2022. I hope. She's the only one that catches my eye when I look at like AEW in the women's division. I'm not a big Ruby Soho fan. I don't know. I'm just not really into AEW's women's division. That's my personal opinion. I don't think it's good. But Bianca Belair, destroyed it this year. And not along the saying, like we were just joking the other night, like she came out on Raw with Liv Morgan, and you tweeted saying like, I don't want to see either of these people wrestle for the title. And I do agree with that. I think like, yeah, Bianca, like when Bianca came out almost, I was like, all right, come on. Like you had a run for a nice little while or whatever. You lost to Becky a few times, and then Liv came and had her program, and now you're coming right back again. Get out of here. Like,
but at the same time, it's like, who else are they?
Exactly.
Who else? You know?
I mean, why not go back to someone who was your freaking workhorse during the entire
threat match that you will do eventually? Probably at the Rumble, I would think.
Yeah. So it's Bianca Belair, and I just don't think it was. And again, this is my. Again, I was coming from WWE because I'm again not a big AEW women's division fan.
Right. Well, I mean, you look at the WWE. Becky was away. Sasha was away, and then had something weird at SummerSlam happen or whatever, and injuries and all that stuff. Mandalorian, all that good stuff. Charlotte Flair, did she have a great year? Did she? I don't know.
Bailey's hurt.
Asuka's hurt. Asuka's hurt. I haven't heard that name in forever. You got Britt Baker on the other side. She's killing it. She was good enough last year to win my female of the year, and she's even been better this year. So with that said, my female wrestler of the year, not Britt Baker DMD. I agree with you. It is Bianca Belair.
Nice.
She killed it. Okay, she killed it. Look, I'm trying not to be all WWE on my sheet here, but Bianca Belair killed it this year. There's no shot. And not to mention, I want to mention the secret match that she had this year with Becky Lynch. It happened on a SmackDown that we were at. That was a dark match. The match was actually very, very good. Like, I just want to say that. So Bianca Belair has a unanimous decision for female superstar of the year.
She's got it locked in, unanimous. Who else? We had Big E with the Babyface of the year was unanimous. Female wrestler of the year is unanimous.
Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks.
And then in ones that we even put, we were almost, they were either second or third. So we're right in sync here. All right. Leads to male wrestler of the year.
Is it me? Yeah, it is me.
Yeah, I think I started with Bianca. Yeah.
Well, don't mind my hair.
Looks great.
So, Roman Reigns was a big one. Omega was a good one. I even considered Edge. But I don't think there was anybody who had the year that this man had. When you main event WrestleMania and then just a few months later shock the world and debut at the other company. Ladies and gentlemen, my male superstar of the year is Daniel Bryan / Bryan Danielson, and he's about to have another banger against Hangman tomorrow night. This is recorded on a Tuesday. We're going to release this, I think, tomorrow. Afternoon, Wednesday afternoon. So tonight he's going to have just another banger of a match. Bryan Danielson was amazing this year, and just the way he conducted himself in the main event of WrestleMania. Match was awesome. He had the match with Roman Reigns on a random SmackDown, to which he lost, and that banished him from SmackDown. That match was great. him and Edge, them interacting with each other was awesome. And then he goes to AEW and he just decides to have banging matches. Despite me not being a great fan of his match with Omega, it wasn't terrible. It just wasn't my cup of tea. And then he has one with Hangman that goes to another draw. I thought it was better. I expect his match tonight to be much better. So there was really no argument from me here. Bryan Danielson,
that's. I mean, like you said, starting off with he main evented WWE and AEW this year. When I mean, AEW's only been around for. I mean, but I don't think it's just what I have to agree with you. It has to be him. I mean, very close with Roman Reigns just because of the year he had. I mean, you can't not say Roman Reigns, but Daniel Bryan, the accolade just going down from the bangers that he has put on. It's just he wrestled Suzuki, Roman Reigns. He wrestled everybody this year.
Literally wrestled everybody. And then, like, he wasn't like one of those guys who left WWE and like bashed WWE. They had a whole press conference with him or the scrub, whatever you want to call it, after he debuted, and he gave props to them, and that's something I also look for. It's not just in the ring; it's outside the ring. How do you conduct yourself?
The way you carry yourself. Yeah, exactly. So I agree with you again that that's definitely unanimous. That I mean. Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson. I don't think you can. If you at the beginning of the year scripted up and said that he was going to do all that stuff, it's no one would have thought that. So, congratulations, Mr. Danielson. Wow, what an honor. Oh. It's that time. It's time for jaBROni of the year. So at the end of every single episode that we do, we have jaBROni of the week. So now it's time to look back on the year in a whole and just be like, what bothered me? What made me upset? Or just was like, what is this? What really? People are not probably going to be happy with mine. But here we go. My jaBROni of the year is going to Nikki Ash. Nikki, almost a superhero. All right, so we texted about this a few weeks ago.
I forgot
about this, and then
I thought I convinced you not.
No, you did it because then I convinced you immediately back. You were like, "Well, that's not her fault," and I was like, "It was her idea," and then you were like, "Oh, it was her idea." So.
It's fucked up.
And this also goes back to when I was doing Monday Night jaBROnis, writing a little funny satirical review of Monday Night Raw. I just felt like every single week I just had nothing but great jokes for Nikki, almost a superhero, that they shortened to Ash, which was so stupid. This was so dumb. I'm so sorry, but just from they did this to her. She looked ridiculous. They try to sell merch. I don't really think they sold that much merch off it. They put the title
walking around with a Nikki Ash shirt.
Yeah, they put the title on her for a hot second, which was terrible. I remember she was celebrating winning like beat the 2 under 2 minute challenges and stuff, and then she was like didn't get pinned in 2 minutes and she's running around celebrating. Literally the definition of a fucking jaBROni. I swore there. So I just thought it was, I mean, again, it's not for me, the gimmick, but I don't really think the gimmick was for anything. Like, I don't think it was for anybody. Like
Probably
maybe,
hate
maybe
that gimmick if I was 8 years old.
Yeah, I don't think if I was an 8-year-old child, I would not have liked it, I don't think. But I'm not an 8-year-old. Well, no, I'm not an 8-year-old child. Anyway, regardless, I just thought it was ridiculous. I thought then, and this could be an honorable mention, they tried to copy RK Bro because it was so successful by putting two people together like Randy and Matt Riddle, who, a couple, putting them together. So they instantly saw that going well, and then they tried to do this with Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley, and they kind of destroyed Rhea Ripley in the same process, and it's still continuing right now. The same with Nikki Ash. She's also I think just on Raw, she lost to somebody again in a tag match. I don't even think she tagged Rhea Ripley in the match, and she lost. Which is, again, more proof just what a jabroni. The odd pairing worked for RK Bro. It does not. You can't. Come on, you can't mess with. I don't know. It was just, I don't know. Nikki Ash was just a terrible gimmick, and it's crazy that it's continuing. I've ran it long enough. Nikki Ash, I'm not sorry. Jabroni of the year.
Wow. See, like me and you, I guess we decide our jabronis of the years differently. See, I try to think back and I'm like, man, who have I repeatedly nailed for jabroni of the week? And it came down to two people. And it came down to wrestling fucking Twitter.
Yeah, I was going to do that.
And then it came down to Nick Khan. Those are two people that I know have been there multiple times.
That's a good one.
The thing is, it was too easy. Obviously, I hate wrestling Twitter. I block a lot of them.
They're stupid.
They're dumb. They're very dumb. Very, very, very dumb.
People in media, people who cover wrestling, honestly, specifically, I can't stand people who cover professional wrestling.
Agreed.
There's some that their motives are, I think, completely evil, and it's
had nothing to do with
wrestling. I'm sorry, I'm hopping in your jabroni. I'm sorry, I'm going to shut up.
Like, just wild. But so Twitter was too easy. Nick Khan was too easy. We all know what his deal is. So I struggled this week, Toph. I'm not going to lie. I struggled. I didn't want to I was going to take the easy way out, but I didn't take the easy way out because, like a gift from the heavens, something happened. It was as if it was a New Year's present. Tony Khan. I don't know if he hit the champagne a little early, making some comments about Big Swole. None that were necessarily bad. You run your company the way you run it. That's fine by me. But everyone knows the comment I'm talking about. Everyone knows at the end of that tweet, there was a shot that did not need to be said. And now the honeymoon's over, Toph. The honeymoon is over between Smarks and AEW when all these people are thinking, oh, what a great company. Oh, well, great owner, man. Yeah, WWE sucks. Yeah, here you go. This is the man you follow. This is the
Grab your torch and pitchforks.
This man that leads you. All you degenerates. All you smarks. Rule number 1 about owning a wrestling company and having Twitter. Get a PR guy. Huh? Get a PR guy. Huh? It's not good looks for you, Tony. And with each day that you do not apologize or address the situation, it makes it just a little bit worse. And sure, you have your employees who are backing you up, doesn't really matter. Sure, it's nice to have, but in the eyes of the people that you are trying to get to watch your product, some people are really mad about that. And you really need to address it. I was drunk, shouldn't have said it. I apologize, but it should have been said a long time ago. Something to explain what's going on with your head. Because it's not the first time that you've said something that's like a little weird. For instance, like he has put his foot in his mouth. Like I don't want to say like too much, but a couple times in the year 2021. Whether it's our show on Friday is better than your show on Friday. Just stuff like that. But specifically the stuff you did on New Year's Eve, really, just not good. Tony Khan, sir, can't believe I'm saying this, and Vince McMahon is not on here, but Tony Khan is the owner, the wrestling owner that is jaBROni of the year for 2021. Well done, sir. Take the foot out of your mouth.
Yeah, it was great. At the end of that tweet too, he even like promoted like street fight tonight, hashtag page.
Business as usual.
I was like, what is this dude doing? He's doing every drug right now. Yeah, man, I would have been a heel if I said like Big Swole was my jaBROni of the year, I guess.
Probably. I mean, that's the thing. There's another thing. Like, I don't watch Big Swole. I couldn't. If I picked her out of a crowd, I couldn't. Or you showed me her in the crowd, I couldn't. I haven't seen one thing of her matches or anything like that. But I'm not dumb either. So there's that.
I never she had the cool Power Rangers gear, but besides that, was never real. Again, I think I already mentioned that I wasn't the biggest fan of AEW's women's division.
Yeah, right. That's probably another reason why you should be jaBROni of the year. Get your women division right. Maybe it's your fault that I'm not into this super duper extra long TBS championship tournament that started at like last year at this time.
The finals are in April 2022.
What's more than a quarterfinal? Like a freaking dime final? I don't know, a penny final. The penny final started in January of 2020. Like, yeah. Dude.
Yeah, the tournament's been going on for like since the company started.
It's like knock it off. This is like, come on now. Finally, we're gonna like. I don't care who wins, Jade or who is in it. Who's in it? Thunder,
Ruby.
Jade's gonna win that.
I think that
she should. She should at least. But I don't care. I
just want just end it.
Just end it.
And then they're
gonna end it a DQ or a draw, and then we're gonna extend it to the next pay-per-view.
No, they're gonna have a tournament to find out who's the number one contender.
A round robin tournament.
Let's go.
Bracket.
Bucket.
Tony Khan, get your shit together.
All right, so that wraps up the awards being given out tonight. Anything else that sticks out this year, throughout the year? Any pay-per-views, anything?
No, I mean SummerSlam was. I mean, if I had to pick a pay-per-view of the year, it wouldn't be SummerSlam. It'd probably be WrestleMania. It'd probably be WrestleMania.
Mania was great.
Based off this, like fans returning, basically, like same thing. I think the jaBROni's show moment of the year was the hot chip challenge for me. I don't know about you, but I've watched that repeatedly, and while it was not funny in the moment, there has not been one time where I have not laughed at that show, and
that was
your reactions and my reactions. I think it was all on point. So
and then also your wife just then going in on the chat and saying like about throwing. It was great. One, we're right at the end of this episode. We are going to play that clip for everyone. If you guys missed that,
Yeah.
So right when we get out of here, we are going to cut right to that clip. Before we do that, you can make sure subscribe, ring that bell, subscribe to the bodyslam.net YouTube channel. If you're watching that through right now, I mean, or if you're watching it on Twitch or Twitter or wherever you at, go check out bodyslam.net for all of your wrestling, MMA news, and whatnot for your podcast. In the description, you can check out the link for the jaBROnis, our merch store. You can go check out, get some t-shirts. Look for the new t-shirt coming. Get ready to join the JWO, the jaBROni World Order. Coming very soon to the shop. Pick one up. And then lots of new designs coming out this year. What else? What else we got to plug away? We were on Spotify, on the podcast apps. You can listen to the show if you don't want to watch. But how do you not want to watch this?
I'm stupid.
We are going to be back on a regular schedule because I felt like it's been just crazy during the sickness and the holidays and all that stuff. But we're back on I can't wait to just talk about what's been going on. And I mean, we got Rumble season, the jaBROni World Championship, which we have, always has controversy, it seems, when it is defended.
Can't get break.
It always seems like there's some kind of.
There's been like one or two legitimate title defenses that we've had in this run, and that's it.
I still don't know what happened with that match. I thought that match card was released by WWE hours before the show, and it just didn't happen. They didn't talk about it, and I guess it'll happen on SmackDown maybe this week.
I'm assuming it was a COVID thing. That's the only thing I can think of.
And they just didn't want to, because Roman already had it. They didn't want to make it seem like a. All right. Anything to close before we get to this? I'm gonna say the clip of the year.
Just Twitter. Listen, man, I'll let you go this year, but I ain't doing it. I have people on here. Speaking of COVID, they were bitching that WWE made like a storyline out of Roman Reigns having COVID and stuff. Same people who, when COVID started, were like, just mention COVID. Like, it's one side or the other, man. Just, be.
Yeah, people were mad at. Hey, like I thought that that was.
We should end this before I change my mind, because I ran it on Tony Khan, and I want to keep it that way. Twitter.
All right. So we're going to wrap it up here. We'll be back this weekend for an all new episode of the jaBROnis. Yeah, we're going to close it out with the hot chip challenge clip. Oh, it was fun. We will see you guys this weekend for an all new episode. Until then, jaBROnis out. It's the spicy chip time. Yo.
God. All right.
Internet, enjoy.
Yes, internet. There you go. Once again, so it's on the up and up. All right. Saw me take it out of the box. Cheers.
Bon appetit, down the hatchet. All right. It's for audio. It is in the mouth. He is sipped. He has sipped. He's sipping.
Oh my God, that sucks. Oh. Oh. Wow.
How is the milk making it feel? Temporary?
Uh-uh. Oh, fuck.
And then also, aren't you not supposed to drink a lot of milk at some point? But because then, what if you want more milk? Like, you can't drink that much milk.
This is bad. All right.
Should I Sean Evans this now and just start asking questions?
Yeah.
I know it might be a sore subject, Crown Jewel, because this is the reason why all of this is happening right now. But what were your thoughts on the pay-per-view?
Well, from what I've from what I watched,
Your faces.
Oh,
man.
No. All right. From what I watched, it was a very good pay-per-view. Oh, it is like when you think it gets better, it starts to get bad again. Okay.
All right, good question for you. Would you ever do it again? All right. That's the only answer I needed. I think it happened. Dana, I'm sorry.